The reception hall at the Grand Phoenix shimmered under soft golden light, every crystal centerpiece glowing like a tiny star. Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti. Finally, after years of detours, heartbreaks, reconciliations, and stubborn hope, had tied the knot again. Applause still echoed faintly among the pillars, guests buzzing with joy, champagne flowing like relief after a long drought. But joy in Genoa City was rarely uninterrupted. The double doors creaked open, slicing through the music like a warning bell. Heads turned, brows lifted, whispers swelled. And then she stepped in, red hair blazing like a flare shot across a calm night sky. Phyllis Summers had arrived. Wearing a smile sharp enough to slice through bulletproof glass, she strutted in as if she'd been personally invited. Nikki choked on her champagne. Lauren froze before muttering an "oh no, not again." Even Jack felt his shoulders tense, instinctively preparing for whatever chaos was about to unfold. But it was Christine, who reacted with the chill of someone who'd seen this movie too many times. Her new husband wasn't far behind, confused but unsurprised. "Phyllis," Danny said carefully, "this isn't the time." "A wedding reception," she purred. "Isn't it always the time for celebration? I brought a gift." She held up a tiny silver box wrapped with a crimson ribbon. It looked elegant, disarming, suspicious, like all things tied to Phyllis Summers. Christine crossed her arms. "We don't need anything from you." Christine, relax." Phyllis's smile didn't soften. "This is a day of love, forgiveness, growth." Jack muttered under his breath, "This should be good." Phyllis stepped forward, heels tapping like a countdown. For a heartbeat, everyone in the room held their breath, expecting an explosion, verbal, emotional, or otherwise. But instead, she placed the box on the gift table with exaggerated delicacy. "There," she said, "see, no drama." No one believed her, not even her. Danny's voice remained cautious. "Phyllis, why are you really here?" "Well," Phyllis said, shrugging lightly, "I thought I'd extend an olive branch. Maybe bury a few hatchets. Maybe show support. You two took the scenic route, but you made it here. That's something to be admired." Christine looked like she was calculating the odds that Phyllis was telling the truth. They weren't great. But then Phyllis froze. Her eyes landed on the far side of the room, near a cluster of white roses and a towering chocolate cake. Her expression twisted. Confusion, shock, a hit of something sharp like jealousy or betrayal. Danny followed her gaze. And he too paled. Because standing by the cake was a familiar face from Danny's past, a woman no one had expected tonight. Heather Stevens. Phyllis blinked rapidly. What is she doing here?" Heather wasn't talking to anyone, simply observing the scene with an expression that hinted she was here for more than dessert. She looked like someone waiting her turn. Danny rubbed the back of his neck, suddenly sweating under the collar. "She wanted to congratulate us." Christine's eyebrow arched. "Since when?" "Since," Danny hesitated, "earlier this week." Phyllis let out a stunned laugh. "You have got to be kidding me." The room's curiosity sharpened. Heads swiveled. The tension was thick enough to cut. Phyllis shook her head in disbelief. "Danny, please tell me you didn't invite your ex to your wedding reception the same week you married another ex." Christine's voice snapped like a whip. "Phyllis, that's enough." But Heather was already walking toward them, calm and collected. "Hello, everyone," she said with a polite smile, though her eyes were trained on Danny. "Congratulations, you two." Christine forced a thank you, while Danny managed a strained nod. Heather's gaze flicked to Phyllis. "Phyllis, surprised to see you here." "Oh, trust me," Phyllis said. "I'm just as surprised to see you. What brings you to Genoa City now, of all times?" Heather hesitated. Something in her demeanor shifted. Less polished attorney, more vulnerable woman. "I came," she said, "because I needed to talk to Danny before he left tonight." Christine stiffened. "Talk to Danny about what?" Heather turned to Danny directly. "About what happened in Portugal." The room collectively inhaled. Phyllis's jaw dropped. "Oh, this is already better than the gift I brought." Danny looked mortified. Heather, can we do this privately? But Heather shook her head. No, you've avoided this for months, and you deserve to know, Christine, before your life with Danny moves forward. Christine froze. Know what? Heather took a breath, steady and prepared. I've been going through some things, and I realized I've been carrying something for a long time, something I never said, something I should have said years ago. She looked directly at Danny. I was in love with you when we saw each other in Portugal, and I think, in your own way, you were still in love with me too. Christine's face reddened, anger, pain, shock. Danny went rigid. Phyllis nearly fainted from the drama rush. Are you serious? Christine demanded. You're bringing this up now, at our wedding. This isn't about breaking you two up, Heather insisted. It's about clearing the air. You both deserve honesty. Danny swallowed hard. Heather, I cared about you, of course I did, but that was the past. I chose Christine. That's not the part that matters, Heather said softly. Danny, you never told Christine what happened between us. The kiss. The room exploded into whispers. Christine whipped around. What kiss? Danny looked like he'd just been exposed under a spotlight. That was nothing, he said. It was a moment. It was more than a moment, Heather interrupted gently, and she deserves to know the truth. Silence. Christine took a slow step back. Danny, were you going to tell me? I didn't want to ruin anything, he stammered. It was before we were officially back together. It doesn't matter, Christine snapped. You hid it. Phyllis let out a long, dramatic whistle. Wow, and people call me the problem. Christine ignored her completely as she stared at Danny, betrayal written all over her face. This was supposed to be a clean start, she said, voice breaking. And you let me walk into this day without knowing the whole story. Danny reached for her hand, but she pulled away. And that's when it happened. The shock. Not for Christine. Not even for Danny. But for Phyllis, because Heather turned to her next. And you, Heather said calmly, should also know something. Phyllis blinked. Me, what did I do? Heather took out an envelope and held it toward her. This belongs to you. Phyllis opened it, slow, cautious. Inside was a single folded sheet. Her breath caught. Her heart dropped. It was a legal document, an official notice regarding Daniel, her son. A custody-related decision she had been fighting in secret. A decision she thought she still had months to prepare for. But the date stamped across the top was clear. Effective immediately. Phyllis's eyes widened with genuine fear. Not drama, not theatrics, something real. Heather's voice softened. I tried to tell you earlier this week. You didn't pick up. For once, Phyllis had no comeback. Christine stared at her, shocked into silence, not by the drama, but by seeing Phyllis Summers truly shaken. Danny exhaled shakily. Christine, we should talk. We should, she said quietly. And Phyllis, gripping the paper with trembling fingers, turned and stumbled toward the exit, her shock overshadowing even the scandal she'd uncovered.